Episode 103.
A glint of determination sparkled in Mr. Scott's eyes as he contemplated the tantalizing prospect before him, rising from silver to gold membership within the prestigious McAllister Club. The allure of such a promotion was not lost on Scott, who recognized the immense power and influence that accompanied such a status. A lot of rich people in the town had silver membership, but a very few had gold membership. With a newfound sense of confidence, he rose to his feet, ready to embrace the opportunities that lay ahead. The man drew near, his voice dropped to a whisper, revealing the clandestine nature of the task at hand.
Here's what you need to do.
Scott's initial shock gave way to resolve as he grasped the magnitude of the request. He stared back at the man and said,
"What? Do you even know what you're asking me to do? Forget everything else. You are asking me to break the law."
You say you want big things, but in the face of adversity, you want to back out? What, breaking a few laws is minuscule in front of what you shall receive, isn't it?
I'm not sure I understand.
But as the man outlined the details of the plan, Mr. Scott's expression darkened further with concern.
What you're asking is risky. If this is discovered, it could have serious consequences.
The man's tone was dismissive, his confidence unwavered.
Mr. Scott, sometimes risks must be taken. And accidents happen, don't they?
The man said, narrowing his eyes.
And I can assure you, you shall be the biggest shareholder of the Glory Film Productions.
With a subtle gesture, the man produced a document, a confidentiality agreement and share transfer agreement, which sealed the deal with a promise of future cooperation. Mr. Scott's heart quickened as he gazed upon the document, recognizing the opportunity it represented. With a smile, he accepted the terms, pledging his unwavering commitment to the task at hand.
Leave it to me. There will be no mistakes, I assure you of that.
And as the man left, Mr. Scott's mind raced with visions of the future, of power, influence, and untold opportunities for cooperation. Back at the Sullivan office, Naomi contemplated the mysterious rich man who had entered Hillwood. For the middle and lower class, such occurrence doesn't cause any furore, but an incident like this caused a stir in the rich men and women of the second generation. The news of the incident even shocked a strong woman like Naomi. Naomi looked up if she could find any information on the mysterious man, or any source that could be linked to his company, but he didn't find anything. Suddenly, there was a knock on her door.
Come in.
It was Damon.
Hi, Naomi.
He said nonchalantly. Ignoring his greet, she directly asked him,
Where were you last night?
Nowhere.
Damon said deliberately to piss her off.
Didn't you go to Hill Spring Mountains? It's okay, you don't have to hide it.
She said, snorting.
I only asked since I was there too, but didn't see you. If you wanted to see the races, you should have asked me. I would have taken you there.
Damon was laughing internally, so he thought of letting it play out like this.
Didn't you see me there?
He said, almost taunting her.
Of course not. In fact, I'm glad that you didn't go there. Hill Spring Mountains isn't a place for normal people like you to visit.
That's true. It is indeed not.
What Damon did wasn't just reckless behavior at Hill Spring Mountains. He had been in Hillwood for a long time, and he wanted to build a strong foundation. Because of the feat at the mountain, he built an armada of connections from the rich by giving out the membership cards. The Sullivans, however, weren't members of the club. Naomi looked at Damon deep in thought, so she said meaningfully,
I want to treat you to dinner tonight.
Having gained a lot of experience, thanks to the guidance from Thomas, Damon knew that the dinner wasn't just a friendly invitation, but she had some ulterior motives to it. With the current status of Damon, he could do anything he wanted. The day passed, and Naomi got ready to pack. These days, Naomi's head was busy only with the thoughts of how to show Damon his true place, and how to end her commitment to him. She was aware of how complicated and full of endurance Damon was.
Of course, no one would give up the chance to marry into a wealthy family.
Naomi thought to herself, but she wasn't going to give up that easily. Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock on her office door.
Come in.
Entering the room was Henry Hank, a shareholder of Birch Real Estate with ulterior motives driven by his admiration for Naomi.
Henry, what brings you here?
Henry used to work at Acorn Real Estate, but the reason he stayed was because he was different. He invested smartly in the stocks and made a fortune. The reason for him coming back to the Birch Real Estate wasn't money, but his infatuation with Naomi. He fell head over heels for Naomi, not only because of her beauty, but she was an exceptional businesswoman. Even though his chances with Naomi were bleak, he still wanted to take his chances. He knew that Naomi wanted to fire Damon, and Henry held the key.
Naomi, there's something I need to discuss with you. It's about Damon. I am not sure if I can say it to you or not.
Naomi's interest is piqued as Henry hesitated, clearly struggling with whether to reveal his concerns.
Please, Henry, you can speak freely with me.
Naomi, I couldn't help but notice some discrepancies in Damon's performance. As a shareholder, it's my duty to ensure the company's success, and I'm concerned that Damon may not be living up to his responsibilities. Damon is now leading the sales department. However, I don't think he's up to it.
Naomi listened intently, her mind racing as she considered Henry's words. Despite her own reservations about Damon, she was taken aback by Henry's forthrightness.
I appreciate your candor, Henry. It's important for us to address any issues that may be affecting the company's performance. Tell me, what specifically has led you to this conclusion about Damon?
Henry took a deep breath, steeling himself to reveal the information he's gathered about Damon's past.
As you know, the real estate industry has not been very prosperous recently. The house price has not risen from last year to this year, but the difficulty of land is rising. In this period, because of the change of shares, Big W Garden has taken the initiative to break the contract with us. Our real estate during this period may meet the slippery end.
Naomi's eyes froze.
Go on.
Naomi, I've conducted some research into Damon's background, and what I've uncovered paints a concerning picture. It seems his track record at previous companies and even in his academic pursuits has been less than stellar. I'm afraid he may not have the qualifications or experience necessary for his current role.
Naomi absorbed Henry's words, her expression unreadable as she processed the implications of his revelations.
Thank you, Henry, for bringing this to my attention. I'll take your concerns into consideration and address them appropriately.
With Henry's departure, Naomi was left alone to grapple with the weight of his words. She knew she must tread carefully, balancing her personal feelings with her professional responsibilities.
Damon may be a formidable opponent, but if he's not pulling his weight, I can't afford to let sentiment cloud my judgment. It's time to take decisive action for the good of Birch Real Estate. I'll call him and get it done with.
Naomi waited at her desk as Damon walked into her cabin.
Damon, I appreciate your efforts, but we need to ensure that our sales department is performing at its best. Your recent performance has raised some concerns, and as a leader, it's crucial that you set a positive example for the team.
Do you mean I am not doing well? I think I understand. I need to boost my achievements, right?
Henry intervened and said,
Damon, don't be so pretentious. If you continue to perform like this next month, you will be fired at the general meeting.
But Naomi, I've been doing the best to navigate the challenges we've been facing in the real estate market. It's not easy out there, and I've been working tirelessly to drive sales and secure new contracts.
I understand, Damon, but we need to see tangible results. The success of our company depends on it. I'm afraid I have to consider making changes to our leadership structure if we can't turn things around.
Damon's expression darkened as he realized the gravity of the situation. He knew Naomi's words weren't just empty threats. She was serious about holding him accountable for his performance.
I see. I'll do everything in my power to improve, Naomi. You won't be disappointed. Give me a month?
With Damon's promise to step up his efforts, Naomi's mind was made up. She knew she couldn't afford to let sentimentality cloud her judgment when it came to the success of Birch Real Estate. As Henry watched from the sidelines, he couldn't help but feel a twinge of satisfaction at the prospect of Damon's impending departure.
Finally, some progress. Damon's departure will pave the way for new opportunities at Birch Real Estate, and perhaps even for me personally.
With the decision made, Naomi and Henry exchanged a knowing glance, silently acknowledging the pivotal moment they'd reached. The future of Birch Real Estate hung in the balance, and it's up to them to steer it in the right direction. Damon's plans were bigger than staying at Birch Real Estate. It was time to use the contacts he made that night at Hill Spring Mountains. He went straight to his plans. He took out a map and spread it in front of Naomi.
What's this?
Well, I'm more than just empty talks, so how about I show it?
Henry sneered.
Are you going to show your performance on a map? As a qualified sales manager, you should encourage employees at this time, or you should do it yourself. Of course, a university student who has just graduated and is self-righteous will not be ignored by others, but I beg you not to pretend to be arrogant.
Damon ignored him. Naomi's mind raced as she observed Damon's meticulous planning and strategic thinking. Despite her reservations about his recent performance, she couldn't help but be impressed by his attention to detail.
Damon, I must admit, your insights into the surrounding infrastructure and amenities are quite impressive. It's evident that you put a lot of thought into this.
Thank you, Naomi. I believe that focusing on the overall environment and community offerings can significantly enhance the appeal of our real estate projects.
Damon's confidence and enthusiasm were contagious, and Naomi found herself warming to his ideas despite her earlier doubts. Henry, on the other hand, watched with growing frustration as Damon continued to win Naomi's favor.
Naomi, I must insist. Damon's performance may seem promising on the surface, but we can't overlook the reality of the situation. We need someone who can deliver results consistently, not just talk a big game.
Let me finish, Henry. So as you can see, when it comes to selling real estate, the surroundings are very important. These locations are perfect for building luxury apartments and villas. The supermarket is a basic convenience. Beyond the supermarket, there's also a school. And Hillwood's University's branch is just enough for this position. In terms of hospitals,
The Hospital of Hillwood is definitely the first choice.
not only did it not set up a lot of traps for seeing patients, but it also brought a large amount of traffic. This is the area we should be constructing in. We need to invest here.
Damon explained his vision to Naomi while pointing to the best areas in Hillwood.
Damon, I don't think there's anyone who's better at bragging than you. It's not so easy to secure all of this quickly, and you know it.
Naomi paused, torn between Henry's insistence on Damon's dismissal and her own growing admiration for Damon's vision. She knew that a decision must be made, and soon.
Gentlemen, I appreciate your perspectives. However, I believe that Damon's ideas have merit, and I'm willing to give him the opportunity to prove himself. Damon, I expect to see tangible progress on the projects you've outlined. Henry, I understand your concerns, but let's give Damon the chance to demonstrate his capabilities.
Damon's eyes lit up with gratitude as he nodded in agreement. Henry's expressions darkened, but he conceded to Naomi's decision, knowing that he must bide his time.
Very well, Naomi. I'll trust your judgment, but mark my words, if Damon doesn't deliver, we'll need to revisit this conversation.
With tensions momentarily eased, Naomi turned her attention back to Damon, ready to support him in his endeavors. As they delved deeper into the details of their upcoming projects, Naomi couldn't shake the feeling that Damon may yet prove to be a valuable asset to Birch Real Estate.